Okay, go. Ladies and gentlemen, this face is a very familiar face to many. For those who do not know him, it's going to be a pleasure once you actually get to meet this brother. This is Brother Fred Williams, my older cousin, my older brother, my mentor, my main man. So we sitting here today in Philadelphia, and we at the dinner table, and we just busting it up and talking about ideologies and people's perception on religion and how it affects our day-to-day lives. So, Brother Fred, you want to introduce yourself? Welcome and thank you.
You did an outstanding job there, young fella. I don't think I have to. I think we could dialogue about what we're here to talk about, and that's essentially this guy really here, black people here in the belly of the beast. Number one, I like to say to people is that the symbolisms and things that we're indoctrinated to think that, you know, it's symbolic with God really isn't, because we really understand the Bible and what it represents. You know, the laws, one of the laws is that, you know, idolatry is symbolisms. You know, we have crosses, and these are just divisive terms that actually come from Europe. But when you really study the Bible and you look at who we really are, and I like to tell even all black people should understand that if you really study Deuteronomy 28, you'll find that in the history of civilization, there were no other people in the world who that happened to except us. I really don't want to get into the details of it because I like for people to go and search for themselves. You know, the best thing that we should do for ourselves is know thyself, because we could get lost here in the belly of the beast. You know, and number two, we really don't acknowledge, you know, who our enemies are. You know, the creed of America. You know, we talk about America is great. Now, Todd, your father, who has traveled the world, he just came from Bangkok and Dubai. What we understand is how we look at the world. We are in the oppressor's presence. We're in the belly of the beast. You know, and in my not so humble opinion, is that the biggest weapon that the oppressor has is the oppressed mind. So when you start looking at things in the form of how the oppressor wants you and trains your mind, you know, then that's the most powerful weapon that they have to go along with that. So Todd, when we come down here, we're gonna get into details and dialogue with how that manifests itself and how we as black men, who has to be a leader of our tribe, because we have our own tribe. And we have to understand that, and we have to have dialogue with that, because our mindset is not where it should be, because we here again in the belly of the beast. I mean, I hear people say that America is the greatest country in the world. Well, you know, Satan is. I could not say that by the root of how this country has came together. First of all, let's look at the root of how America has manifested itself. First, they came over here, the Native Americans. They killed, stole their land, and maimed. They went to another continent and they enslaved people, our ancestors. Now, I say to anybody that if you gave me 10 people and they worked for me for 10 years for nothing, for free, I could build wealth. There's nothing great about that. You know, because see, Satan, I'm telling you, Satan is great in thinking that we think that America is great, but there's nothing great about stealing, maiming, and killing people and building free wealth, and then empowering yourself economically and systemically, just because of the color of our skin, that they're gonna make it hard for them. There's nothing great about that. So that's some of the dialogue we're gonna talk about at Length Tide once we get together.
Oh man, that's greatly appreciated. Well, I tell you what, I'm anxious for this time to take place and for us to get ourselves together as we do the next contemporary issues. Well, you and I just made a comment and a statement about people actually, you just made a comment about actually go find out something for yourself. And what you fail to realize is that the majority of the people in the world are followers. Right. So it's very difficult this is where we can be empowering to a lot by giving them guidance and direction, because it's very easy to lead a bunch of people to nothing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
yes,
right now we're in a situation where, you know, our areas are let's talk academics. Our literature or literacy levels are at its utmost lowest. Our crime is at its highest. The United States houses more prisoners of minorities in America than all the prisoners in the world.
Right.
You dig? So, and the majority of them being black and Latino and Hispanic. All right. So, if that being the case now, and we look in our areas, we look at the impoverished lives that we're living, the perpetuated anarchy that we're living, the way we're living, and then we're still trying to tell people the significance of being independent in understanding and studying, but yet the process of studying is so difficult for a large population of our inner city youth and our black people. They don't even know how to study. So how do we bridge that gap to bring something that's most valuable and that's going to be direct and something that they can digest?
Well, Todd, as you eloquently stipulated prior in your dialogue, when you look at those connotations that you're talking about, black folks being in prison more, we have more prisons than anyone in the face of the world. I mean, what's so great about that? When you look at the oppression, the economic oppression, when you look at the murder, the mayhem, the only reason why white folks have to come to terms with, and people, especially black people, they kill me about, like, wow, cops are killing black people. They've been killing us and murdering us ever since we've been here.
Yeah, so
it's nothing new. See what we got to stop being hoodwinked and look at what's real. Okay, now me personally, I look differently. Anything that comes out of Europe, right? If they say right, I'm going left, and here's why. There is no light has ever come out of Europe. The only thing that's ever come out of Europe is killing, maiming, conquering. Those right there are not antidotes for peace.
Right.
Okay. And you can't tell me that the root of anything. You take a tree, and it always say I'll just use my own words. The root of a tree, right? Make apples and oranges. Well, the fruit is not going to fall far from the tree. Well, with that being said, if the root of that tree was manifested by killing, stealing land, poisoning people,
the fruit it's not going to fall far.
That's right, and building and bringing other people over here and enslaving them. Now, and white folks always have a way of saying things like, well, Africans enslave Africans. That's true. However, the difference is that
that wasn't chattel slavery.
And it wasn't inhumane.
Then it wasn't inhumane. That was conquering.
Right.
That was tribal.
It was tribal.
And then at the end of it, they released those prisoners.
But here now is that the world, and I say that the world, right, has prospered off the backs of our ancestors. The world, number one. Number two is that we were considered inhumane. We weren't even human. We weren't even considered human. So when you look at these antidotes, why don't we just, number one, realize who our enemies really are, number one. Number two, if we depend on the status quo and white folks to bring us together, it's never going to happen. Because they don't want us. Only thing they need us over here for is to do what we do. That's to be consumers.
Right.
And you know what? You could be a bum and they still gonna make money. Everything over here is big business, even prisons.
No, for sure.
Prisons are big business
schools
now. So we keep doing what they need us to do, what we doing, so
that they can stay and profit
economically.
I need you to be ignorant, so that you don't have job opportunity.
Figure out what's so great about that. Why is America so great? Because I'm saying to you, when you look at all in the history of how it manifests itself, how can God be with this country? How can it be? It can't be. And Satan, people don't want to realize that Satan is brilliant. Satan is powerful. We have even bought into this being the greatest country because most people have never been anywhere else.
Right.
Now, how you gonna live in North Philly? You've never been in even the center city, and you've been so oppressed, your mind, economically, your spirit, and you're gonna say this is a great country. And only way you can say that is that because the oppressor has your mind, which is his strongest weapon.
We're gonna close out on that. We're gonna call this Big Face with Fred. Hey! Hey! That's what we're gonna call it. Hey, Freddie! All right. So we got it at 10 minutes. Hey, Freddie, and you're gonna be on our next part of contemporary issues. I'm gonna cut a little pilot on this, and it's gonna be called what? Ayeee Freddie.
I look forward to it, my brother.
All right, you got
Yes,
it.
sir.
Peace. Love you, bro.
Love you too.